No, but Kathy owns a studio. She wants her daughter to dance, so of course she puts her daughter in dance. And let me just tell you, we love Vivi because her one-liners are great. Her facial expressions are so good. But even more so, I love Vivi today.
She is the most beautiful young lady, I think.
She is.
She really is.
She's gorgeous.
And she can freaking tap, let me tell ya.
And even if she didn't dance anymore, she is a poised and put together, and she's just out there living her life.
Absolutely.
She is just freaking doing the thing. I don't know if you caught this, but the entire time that Kathy is talking, Vivi is next to her mouthing along.
Yes.
It is so funny. She is mimicking Kathy, and it is hilarious.
I own Candy Apples Dance Center. I have been a dance instructor since 1998.
We don't learn it at this moment, but that's in Canton, Ohio. There's a shot of her wearing a fur jacket.
I am absolutely loaded with quirks.
She has bunny statues everywhere. And again, I thought of our mother.
It gives me the heebie-jeebies.
Pink is my ultimate favorite color, and I like to say that pink is not a color, but it is a way of life. I don't like pink.
Vivi doesn't like pink. And then it pans to her room. The whole motherfucking thing is pink. The whole fucking thing is pink.
You know Kathy painted that room.
Well, of course she did. I mean, it wasn't Vivi, obviously.
I'm an older mom who is very interested in, am I allowed to say it? Botox and Restylane?
And to that I say, we know, bitch.
You'll like me. I'm flamboyant and I'm funny, but just don't push my buttons and we won't have any altercations.
Okay.
Famous last words.
With Vivi being 6, and I've coached her now since she's been 18 months old, I think that it's time that we bring somebody else in.
Now, I think that Kathy was right on that one.
I do. I agree.
It's very hard to teach your own children.
Because if I say something to Vivi and she's gonna bust out in tears, my heart is gonna break because I don't want to do that to Vivi. But if another coach says to her, look, Vivi, you've got to straighten your knee on that Y scale, and that's, you have no options.
And I agree. I absolutely agree with that.
Now, I am going to say, we see a clip later down the road of her. She has a hard time, but she really doesn't have a hard time.
Obviously, it was all staged because it's pretty widely known that Kathy was the very first person cast.
Yes.
So they knew that they were going to use Kathy for sure. They have the most awkward meeting that is so staged by producers.
I own Candy Apples Dance Center. Does that ring a bell?
So you're the dance teacher.
I am the dance
I'm sorry,
teacher.
and this is your daughter.
This is my daughter.
So you're here as the mom.
I am here as the mom.
Not the dance teacher.
No, I am.
You're not looking for a job.
Oh, no.
Okay,
Yes.
all right.
It just doesn't get through to Abby's brain that you can own a dance studio and have a daughter.
Right.
Both things can be true at once.
Well, not in Abby's eyes because she doesn't want to have children.
I would like to see her compete with you this weekend.
This weekend.
This weekend. We can do it. We can do it.
Okay.
Can't we? You go, girlfriend.
It probably isn't the way it's filmed. What I don't understand is she wants Vivi to compete at a competition where she's 6, in which Mackenzie is not competing because she's too young because she's 6. So, like, okay, what?
I never even thought about it like
Shit
that.
isn't adding up.
What?
But it was set up. This was all set up by producers.
Absolutely.
So, like, why didn't the producers not catch this? Because to me, that's like a red flag. Vivi gets into her costume and auditions, and it is ridiculous.
The shimmy run gets me, people. I don't know what that is. It is not a dance move.
Abby just has her, like, trying to do all these tricks, but Vivi doesn't know the terminology. And this is where I have to agree with Abby.
But she's also asking her to do a lot of acro stuff. And not every dance studio is big on acro.
Yeah, we didn't do acro, but she starts asking her about passe, like a parallel passe. And Vivi has no idea what that is. And to me, this is where I agree with Abby, and I am going to eat my socks later for saying that out loud. But I don't agree with the studios that use these weird terminology for, you know, these like cutesy names for things, because it's not real.
Right.
And not that everything is about becoming a professional dancer, because it's not, but if one of those children were to go to an audition, were to happen to go to an audition and book some job, they would find it really difficult to transition into working in a professional space, even as a child, if they don't know the actual terminology of things.
Well, absolutely. But you also hear Kathy say jazz, like we do in jazz.
Yeah.
Okay.
But like, why don't we call it parallel? But then still Vivi doesn't know.
So my thing is, Vivi's probably heard the correct terminology at some point, but she's 6.
And then all of a sudden, they're out front signing Vivi up for classes. What happened?
I think that Abby is the one that's going to really be making out when it comes to me and Vivi being a package deal. I may be just able to interject with that one little, maybe a C-zone here would work.
Okay, so now it's one day to competition. Rehearsals are happening. And then we get a shift in the music.
Dawn's daughter was called into my class for a routine that she was picked special for. And she had socks and a t-shirt on.
Now let me just tell you, in all of my years of dance, no matter where I was in the world, no matter what style of dance class I was taking, I always wore tights and a leotard. I mean, always.
Yeah, it was always required for us.
Because that was the way I was most comfortable, because that's, to me, that's what you wear to dance class.
Right. So now we're talking about an acro class, though. So you're doing a lot of flips and a lot of running to do flips.
Exactly.
Or
you don't want a t-shirt flying up in their face.
you also don't want to wear socks.
Exactly. So I can't believe I'm saying this for the second time. I agree with Abby.
Yeah, really, though. I mean, I totally 100% agree with Abby. Socks should not be a thing in a dance studio.
I never have understood why people learn to turn in socks. Like, it's so impractical. You have dance shoes for a reason, and also you have bare feet for a reason.
I want to speak to you. You don't throw my kid out of class. I paid for class.
She's not dressed appropriately.
I'm looking at every single kid out here, Abby. They all look like children. Isn't that crazy that children look like children? She's dressed appropriately.
That moment in time, I'm like, sorry, Dawn, you're wrong.
Yeah, I don't get what she's arguing about. At this moment, the information we know is that Reagan showed up in a shirt and socks for acro. She was supposed to be in a leotard and tights. And for whatever reason, Abby threw her out and said, you need to change. I don't know if Reagan didn't have anything to change into, but like also,
Why are you unprepared?
why do you not have 3 sets of clothes to change into in your dance bag at all times? You were clearly not raised by Debbie.
You need to have a backup.
And you need to have a
outfit.
backup of your backup.
You never know what's going to happen.
Abby's like, oh, you're a minister. You should act like it. And
Here she goes.
Here she goes.
5,
6, 7, 8, Dawn meltdown. And she is screaming at the top of her lungs about Jesus and the Bible and injustice. And I love it. I love
then we
it.
pan into the hallway to Christy. And Christy is me. Because she is like, I'm listening, but I don't want to be in the middle of it. What?
She is leering. She is leering. And then you also see in the dressing room all of the girls from the other class, all the senior kids.
All the senior kids,
And
yeah.
I'm like, you acting a straight up fool in front of all these kids. Abby goes into the dressing room to talk to Dawn and tell her and Reagan that they have to get out.
Leave. Yes.
Every week we put the trash out. Go.
Then take yourself out because you're the biggest piece of trash there is.
And there is a dressing room full of children. There's also a studio full of children who are trying to film a TV show. And there's another shot of Christy leering around the corner. She's all of us at that moment.
She is me. I would so be her.
Now they're at the front desk, and Abby's yelling at Reagan about her memory. And
Oh, yes.
Does it not hit in your head that maybe you're wrong?
No.
Do you not get it?
I don't get it. I know I'm right.
Why are you right?
It's my building.
Why
My
can't-
name's on the front.
So what?
And I again agree with Abby, and I hate
Right.
myself.
She is in the right. Yeah.
But also at the end of the day, it's her studio, it's her rules. And if she says you wear X, Y, and Z to acro class, you wear
And
X,
that's
Y,
what
and
you
Z
do.
to acro class. And if you don't, then you don't come to acro. I mean, we had very many dance teachers that were very strict. We also had a lot of them that were not very strict. But we had some who were not from this country who used to be very strict about the color of leotard and the color of tights.
Right.
And this is when the most ridiculous chase around the dressing room happens.
Oh.
Abby is like waddling around the dressing room, and it's like the most anticlimactic chase I have ever
I was rolling
seen.
on the floor.
And Dawn is not but 2 steps behind her the whole time, and I'm like, what is the point of this? But also I am
living for it.
Edge of my seat. Holly comes in, swoops in to freaking save the day. She's trying to calm down Dawn, and Dawn just will not calm down, and she just keeps saying, I can't stand her. Leave.
Right.
Like, if you can't...
You need to leave them.
If you can't stand someone, no one is forcing you to pay them
to teach your kid dance.
It is dance.
It's a dance class.
Abby goes into Studio B. She asks one of the seniors for their cell phone, and she calls the cops.
Hi, I need police. I have a parent that's out of control. Pardon? She does not have weapons, just her mouth.
Literally my favorite line Abby ever says.
You know who I want to talk to? The 911 operator who answered that call.
Anytime Abby has ever called the cops.
You know that's not the only time she's called the cops.
No.
We know it's not. Dawn and Reagan go outside, and Abby's apologizing to the senior company, and I have to tell you, I think this is the very first and only time we ever see Abby apologize for anything on the show.
Yes.
Like, I genuinely don't remember another apology.
I don't think so.
So then the cops are here.
And the cop's like, just take your daughter to another dance studio. Yes. Yes, sir.
Here we go. So Chad, the cop, I don't know if his name's Chad. His name is Chad in my head. He has joined the police force because in his head, just really wants to kick down some doors and do car chases and be a badass and wear a gun and run all over and be a big hero. And here he is at a dance studio answering a call about a woman with no weapons.
Just her mouth.
Having to tell her to leave because the mean dance teacher doesn't like her. I mean, if that isn't our tax dollars at work, boo, I don't know what is. Chad, the cop, is rethinking his life choices.
And you can totally tell on their faces that they are annoyed.
And they have been here many times.
Yes.
He's like, this is the 25th time I've been back to this place.
Today!
Yeah, like, what is going on? It is a dance studio.
Just leave.
And then there is a little short interview with Abby, and she's like leaning against the wall, and she is trying to compose herself. And let me just tell you, she looks as if she has carried 4 people with 3 backpacks and a Buick up a mountain. Homegirl has worked hard. Abby, a mean mom just yelled at you, and it's not even the worst.
It's rough, okay? Let me just tell you, it's a rough life.
She's sweating. Her hair's a mess.
Let's be real. She's always sweating. Her hair is always a mess.
But, like, why does she look so crazy in this moment? I just don't understand. Get it together.
She never does.
The next thing we see is her walking past the front desk, and all of a sudden there's a cake there.
Takes her finger and licks it.
With her long ass witch nails, and swipes some of that icing and eats it.
Okay, do you want to know what that cake is for, though? It's for Kathy's birthday.
What?
So it's the same cake you're gonna see it for Kathy's birthday.
That is ridiculous. But also, we're still in the days of COVID, and I cannot imagine just walking past a cake in a public place, swiping some frosting and going about it.
I mean, to be honest, I probably could.
Okay, but here we go. It's the day of the show, y'all.
Whoa!
It's the day of the show, y'all.
It's happening.
It's competition day. Everyone,
it's happening.
Everyone look alive. Look alive. They're all arriving in one bus. But to that I say, why do they have to arrive like they're a part of a gang? Like, I get it's part of a TV show, but like, we never arrived at the same time.
No, because we never really traveled together. Like,
exactly.
We all traveled separately.
When we walk in anywhere for a dance competition, we're like the glammed up Beverly Hillbillies.
Oh, one of my favorite things that anyone ever says this episode, she's not wrong.
No.
She's not wrong at all. And then we find out Abby's rules for competition etiquette.
Now, I kind of agree with that.
I really agree with them. And again, I say, I hate myself. The rules are, if the dancer brings it, they carry it.
Okay.
Yeah. Your mothers are not your pack rat. They are not your moving van.
Cue Holly saying,
Oh, she's
got 2 bags.
She's a kid. The competition starts as soon as you walk into the building, which is true.
Absolutely.
If you're not being judged by the actual judges, you're being judged by the competition director
right.
and everyone on staff there. Everyone that's teaching classes for the workshops that are happening, everyone is watching you because you're all going to be wearing different stuff with your school's logo on it. And if you act a fool, they're going to know that your studio is a hot mess. When they have invitationals coming up, they're not going to think of your studio.
Right.
When you're in public places, you have to talk in library voices while also we hear